العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين أما بعد. So we are still in the Surah An-Naml, the ant, and today inshallah we'll start from ayah number 27. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم قال سننظر أصدقت أم كنت من الكاذبين اذهب بكتاب هذا فألقه إليهم ثم تول عنهم فانظر ماذا يرجعون قالت يا أيها الملأ إني ألقي إلي كتاب كريم إنه من سليمان وإنه بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. So to refresh your memory, Sulaiman alayhi salam with huge soldiers, human being, jinn, animals, they're going to go somewhere, so then a certain place have to stop. So therefore, he sent a hudhud, the bird they call Hupi, who know where is the water, or the source of water. Yeah, so from top he can see, even under the ground. So Hudhud, he left first. He looking for that, where Sulaiman we can rest and take the water. Right? Then suddenly he saw a palace. For some reason, he's nosy. He want to know what's going on. So he went down. It was maybe early morning, and he found the queens, with her people was worshipping the sun. So, he could say, it's not my business. Let them do whatever they want. So he saw this is wrong. Right? And the Hadith said, when you see something wrong, what you do? To remind you, with them by your power, or by your tongue, but at least by your heart. So he noticed that. So therefore, he was late. Right? So when Sulaiman was expected, the infection, all the soldiers, right? Some ulama said, the bird is covering his head, but there is a hole. I said, who's missing there? I said, Hudhud. So two opinions, right? So anyway, Sulaiman got angry. He is a king, also his prophet, of course. And he said, Mali al-Hud, what's going on? I didn't see Hudhud. Right? And then said, if you come back, I would have punishment with strong punishment, because he need to be disciplined, to be on time. Right? Or he said he can bring the evidence. Right? So then suddenly Hudhud come back. And Hudhud, he know that Sulaiman was angry. So before Sulaiman say anything, sir, His Excellency, I have something you don't know. Sometimes the father want to hit his son. Wait that. I have news for you. You don't know news. Okay, what? Then he told a story. I found a queen with her people worshipping the idols, not worshipping Allah, who hiding the seed and all this, right? Now, Sulaiman now, what his position? He gave the evidence. Right? This is we're going to start, inshallah. قال سننظر أصدقت أم كنت من الكاذبين.
Solomon said, we will see whether you were truthful or were of the liars. Solomon does not judge the matter hastily. He is not too thrilled with the news brought by the Hupi. He wants to be sure before taking any action. This is the appropriate course to follow by a fair prophet and a wise king.
Wise king, right? So Sulaiman said, okay, we will see. He said, whether you are truthful. So it's sadaqta. So it means he know that the Hudhud spoke the truth. It's supposed to be whether we'll see whether you were truthful or you are liar, right? No, sorry. Truthful or were of the liar, among the liar. The little bit less went up to liar. Truthful was very clear. Whether truthful or liar, right? No. It's in Arabic said min al-kadhibin, among the liar. As mentioned that the story in the Quran is not for entertainment. Right? We learn from here that Sulaiman alayhi salam, Allah gave him power. He never gave to anybody. And he used his power to establish the justice, to bring people to good thing. Right? Yeah. And the most important is how to people enjoy the justice under his leadership. So here, he can just finish the hudud. No, he want the justice. That's the lesson. Right? Because most of people, when they have power, alas, they can do whatever they want. As you see now, people have power, just bomb here and there and there. Yeah, we'll talk about that, inshallah. Yeah. So that's position of Sulaiman. Let me see. Yeah. اذهب بكتاب هذا فألقه إليهم ثم تول عنهم فانظر ماذا يرجعون.
Take this letter of mine and deliver it to them. Then leave them and see what answer they will return. At this point, the contents of the letter are not revealed. They are left until it is delivered, when interest is at its highest.
Quran is very interesting. Of course, Sulaiman, maybe he called his staff discussing what do you think about Hudhud. And after discussing, then he wrote the letter, right? Of course, take maybe days. Right? And then Sulaiman told the Hudhud, well, this is your job, this is your task. Idhab bi-kitabin. Take this letter. You can imagine his advice on the way is from Palestine and Bilqis in Yemen. There's thousands of miles. No GPS. How would you know exactly the direction? Right? So every animal, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give certain talents, ability. So it means Hudhud maybe have some GPS in his mind, in our direction. He have to stop him because he carried it with his mouth. I don't know what his hand, right? He stop and eat and they continue, right? But before we continue, I have a funny story. He said one day Sulaiman alayhi salam was sitting on his palace alone, and then two birds, male and female, was talking. Talking about love. And the male said, honey, ask me. Whatever you ask, I will fulfill it. Even if you ask me to bring you to the moon, I'll bring you to the moon. Even if you want me to take the crown of Sulaiman, I will take a gift to you. And the bird, he forgot Sulaiman understood the language. What did he say? You take my crown? Come here. And then the bird, very smart, said, "Oh, His Excellency, he was talking with the language of love. Language of love, there's no rule. You can do whatever you want." Yeah. So then the Quran didn't explain. Then Sulaiman and Hudhud took the letter and he flew, miles, right? You don't need it. And suddenly we know that Hudhud did his job. Because the next ayah said that, قالت أيها الملأ إني ألقي إلي كتاب كريم.
He said, O eminent ones, indeed, to me has been delivered a noble letter. The curtains are drawn here. When they are lifted again, we are in the presence of the Queen of Sheba, after the letter has been delivered to her. She is in consultation with her advisors. As she tells them of the letter, we gather that most probably she did not know how the letter was delivered or by whom. She uses the passive voice in a report of its delivery. Had she known that it was the Hupi who delivered it, as some commentaries on the Quran suggest, she would surely have reported this as a remarkable and extraordinary event.
So Hudud is very smart with me. He's very smart. I don't know how. Is he throw it? Or he when they sneakily put in her chair? We don't know. Because the Quran said, yeah, it said that to me has been delivered, said who we don't know. Right? It's because a letter come to the queen have to be through security. They will have to walk inside and all this, right? Yeah. If no other from Hopi, man, oh, this king should be powerful. He can send the animal to send to us. But anyway, right? She received now so he called, Al-Mala. Mala mean the omens, mean the people who have knowledge, people who wise, his advisors, right? He is maybe general, minister, right? This is, we learn from here, the important Arabic call of mashura, consultation. So before we make any decision, you have to follow this. So advisors, ma khoba man istashara, wala nadima man istakhara. The one who always made consultation, he will not lose. And the one who pray istikhara before he make any decision, he will not regret. Sometimes you do something, oh man, I'm stupid. Why did that? Because you not make consultation. Of course, consultation based on the subject. If you have problem with your car, yeah, so you consult the mechanic. You need ruqyah, consult the sheikh, right? Yeah. So therefore, why Rasulullah he always made consultation. Depend of the subject. The subject just enough with his advisor, Abu Bakr, Umar, Ali, Usman, yes. But sometimes no, we need all people. So he called Bilal, called the people. Like before the battle of Uhud, in the battle of Uhud, Rasulullah he wanted to stay in Medina. Right? But the young people now, they will thought we are coward in all this. Because majority, look at majority, they want to go outside Medina to do Uhud. Then Rasulullah accepted. He didn't say, hey, set up, I'm prophet. No. Right? It is true in the end, also idea is correct. Right? They defeated in Uhud. Right? So now, those people who made mistake in Uhud, Prophet now going to address to them. And before Rasulullah addressed to them, the ayah was revealed. Right? فَبِمَا رَحْمَةٍ مِّنَ اللَّهِ لِنْتَ لَهُمْ. By the mercy of Allah, you be gentle to them. Allah asked Muhammad to be gentle, the one who made mistake. The one because of them, his uncle died. 70 people died. Islam almost gone. Be gentle to them. وَلَوْ كُنْتَ فَضًّا غَلِيظَ الْقَلْبِ لَانْفَضُّوا مِنْ حَوْلِكَ. If you harsh, and your heart is harsh too, people turn away from you. Then he said, what? فَاعْفُ عَنْهُمْ, forgive them. وَاسْتَغْفِرْ لَهُمْ, ask Allah to forgive them. And then what? وَشَاوِرْهُمْ فِي الْأَمْرِ. And the principle of consultation continue. He didn't say, hey, I told you, look, because we make consultation and look, if we lost, no more consultation. No. Allah said, yes, mistake. But this principle has continued. And it's very important at the home and the community always. Right? And then also we learn from here that this queen is very smart. Right? They're very smart because she could just make any decision. People listen to her. Very smart because this is have connection with the country. She's possible. So he called the wise people, right? And also she said that noble letter, Kitabun Karim. How did she know this is noble letter? Right? Either he heard about Sulaiman, because innahu min Sulaiman, that means Sulaiman is, noun now in the word of the time, everybody, of course, right? And also how the letter was written, very, very organized, and it should be from noble people, from noble men. Yeah. No, she going to read what the content of the letter. إنه من سليمان وإنه بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
It is from Solomon and is as follows: in the name of Allah, most gracious, most merciful. What the letter stated was very clear, simple, and powerful. It began with the name of God, the most merciful, and made a single demand that the queen and her people must not take a hostile or belligerent attitude towards its sender. Rather, they should go to him declaring the submission to God, in whose name he addressed them.
Wow. The letter very short, right? The letter is precisely, yeah. And the letter start by what? Bismillah. Just by saying Bismillah, it's from Sulaiman, Bismillah, hey, I'm talking in the name of God, not on me. I'm on behalf of the God of universe. Yeah. So therefore, why it is sunnah to say Bismillah before you eat, before you wear clothes, for anything. Because by saying that this blessing that I have now, I can sleep, I can eat, I can drink, right? It's from you, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So because sometimes we focus to the ni'mah, the blessing, forget the mun'im, the one give blessing. Yeah. So therefore, why is it any matters that you do without Bismillah will be lost, no reward. Two people both hungry and both eat. One, he just, fulfill the hunger. The other one, he get two. He fulfill the hunger, no more hungry, and they get blessing of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala just by saying Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. And also, did you say Bismillah Jabbar, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim? Hey, Allah Rahman Rahim. Because it's Rahman that I give you this. Because Rahman, you can walk, right? So that's starting the letter. Allah ta'alu alayya wa'tuni muslimin.
Be ye not arrogant against me, but come to me in submission to the true religion. She did not worship God, but the whole region knew about Solomon and his status. Besides, the language of the letter was clear, decisive, and to the point. What the letter stated was very clear, simple, and powerful.
Powerful, mashallah, right? He said, hey, queen, don't be arrogant. You and who with you, right? Wa'tuni muslimin. Come to me in Arabic, yes, muslimin, not Muslim, that means all you people. All people, they come to me. Yeah. So this is how Queen Bilqis, this is, a lot of people sometimes when we give letter, long letter and describe and this. I said, no, this is, and she understood it's not like any other king. It's powerful king. So be careful, don't be arrogant, come here. Know what her reaction. قالت يا أيها الملو أفتوني في أمري ما كنت قاطعة أمرا حتى تشهدون.
She said, O eminent ones, advise me in my affair. I would not decide a matter until you witness for me. Thus she appears to be a very wise queen. It is clear at the outset that she was greatly impressed by the letter, yet she also appears serious and decisive. She imparted this to her advisers by describing the letter as worthy. It is clear that she wants neither opposition nor belligerency. She does not say this openly. Instead, she prepares the way for it by the line she takes. She then requests their advice.
Because this woman, the nature of woman is peace, inclined to peace, not too harsh. Woman prepare reconciliation than war. Right? Woman prepare to be friend than the enemy. Right? But she confused also how to respond to this letter. Do I just submit to him, right? Obey him, or I fight against him? What do you have to do? Right? And this is not easy as a leader. You have to be wise. Right? One day, Muawiyah, when he became Khalifa, Abdullah bin Zubair, who control Makkah now, he's like Amir in Makkah. And he wrote letter to Muawiyah. He just, without title, hey Muawiyah, your people start coming to us. Stop them. You don't want to have trouble. Muslim. So he looked letter and he asked his son, what do you think? What should be my response? He said, Dad, send soldiers, finish them. Muawiyah said, look, son, I don't think that's a good idea. So he wrote a letter, and he put the title of Abdullah bin Zubayr. He said, oh, disciple of Rasulullah. Disciple of Rasulullah. Because Zubair, the son of Zayd, this is very close to Rasulullah. And Rasulullah, if you want to know my disciple, this is my disciple. Right? Yeah. And he said, sorry, what happened? Yes, I will stop them. I will ask them to leave Makkah now. And thank you very much. And then Abdullah, he wrote back the letter. He said, Ya Amir al-Mu'minin Muawiyah. Oh, the leaders of the believer, Muawiyah. Thank you for your response. May Allah reward you. May Allah support you, subhanAllah. And then he looked at his son. Son, look at, if you be gentle, right, you can gain their hearts. Instead of enemy become friend. That, like Rasulullah said, if the gentleness put in anything, it will solve the problem, not anger. Yeah? So, she confused now. What should be our decision? So now the advisor, I think the first general, they start talking now. Yeah. Well, قالت يا أيها الملو أفتوني في أمري ما كنت قاطعة أمرا حتى تشهدون. I think they read it. Okay. We read this one or not?
We read this already.
Yeah. I think we did, yeah. So now I said, قالوا نحن أولو قوة وأولو بأس شديد والأمر إليك فانظري ماذا تأمرين.
They said, we have great strength and great ability for war, but it is for you to command, so think over what you will command. As is customary with courtiers, They declared their readiness to do whatever was demanded of them, but they left the final decision to the queen.
So the soldier said, look, you know that we are strong. We have huge soldiers. We have weapons. We have horses. We have anything. Right? So this is the gender where they talk. Said, Ulu ba'asin shadid. You know, we have ability. But, you know, this is the soldiers. But because this will have consequence any decision we make, and you are a politician, you are the leader, right? We just obey whatever you command us. Right? Here the word is in Arabic, qalu nahnu. He said 4 words destroy people sometimes. He said ana, I am, and we, you know, and belong to me, and I have. Ana is Iblis. Remember Iblis said, you know, why you don't want to bow down to Adam? Ana khairun, I am better than him. Remember that? So the word ana. Or Qarun. Yeah, he was the word. Qala innama utitu ala ilmin indi. All this wealth, because I have it, is from my work. Right? Or Firaun. Qala ya qawmi laysa li mulki misr. Me. Isn't that Egypt is belong to me? Right? So here, soldiers said, we are strong. We are the people. Yeah? قالت إن الملوك إذا دخلوا قرية أفسدوها وجعلوا عزة أهلها أذلة وكذلك يفعلون.
She said, indeed, kings, when they enter a city, they ruin it and render the honor of its people humble, and thus do they do. Now we see the woman rather than the queen expressing her feelings. A woman instinctively hates war and the destruction it brings to its wake. Therefore, she decides to seek peace and conciliation rather than resistance and conflict.
So from the letters, from the language and all this, we cannot fight Sulaiman. Right? And then she described the custom of the evil king when they come to the country. They're going to destroy it. And the people who is to be in charge, they will humiliate it. Yeah. So then, in the end, said, وَكَذَلِكَ يَفْعَلُونَ, and thus do they do. Some ulama said, this is from Allah. Allah said, yes, what did he say is true. Right? You look at Genghis Khan, Napoleon, you know, all these people, Fir'aun, you know, when they come to any country, they destroy it. Right? So no, Bilqis, she's very smart. She wants to check now. Is Sulaiman is only king? Or is it true? He's king and also prophets. Because to deal with the king easy. The king loves dunya. Right? Yeah, this is her decision. وَإِنِّي مُرْسِلَةٌ إِلَيْهِمْ بِهَدِيَّةٍ فَنَادِرَةٌ بِمَا يَرْجِعُ الْمُرْسَلُونَ.
But indeed, I will send to them a gift and see with what reply the messengers will return. The queen is fully aware that when kings occupy a city or country, they wreak havoc, destroying everything, so as to break all resistance. In particular, they target its chiefs, seeking to humiliate them as they are the ones who put up resistance. This is clearly the habit of all domineering kings. She is also aware that a gift wins hearts and emphasizes friendship. It may also remove the threat of war. Hence, her approach was certainly worth a try.
Yeah. You know, there's a sign for the king, sign for the prophets. King, of course, If every year I give certain gift, he will not attack us, right? When you give a gift, you look it towards to whom you give the gift and from whom. Queen Saba, this Sulaiman, still be huge gift, jewelry, silver, the best everything that she have. Qu'est-ce qu'il did? Right? I don't know. And it's very important that, there's the people of principle, they cannot buy by the gift, by the wealth. Yeah? Because the wealth is very valuable for people of dunya. Yeah. People of dunya, they just be quiet. Look at when Trump, they went to Saudi Arabia, to Qatar, even you okay. And they did try to Muhammad Sallallahu. They went to his uncle and again asked Muhammad to stop. If behind what he do, he want to be leader, we make him our leader. We like him. Because he need wealth, we'll make him the rich one in Makkah. Or because you're looking for a beautiful woman, we find the pretty one and give to him. Or he was possessed by jinn, we bring the best ruqyah. This offer. Right? If Muhammad looking for that, whatever. Yeah, okay. I will be quiet. He said, oh, uncle, if they put the sun on my right hand and the moon on my left hand, this symbol what? Day and night. I will not give up. Either I die or I continue my dawah. No, right? So no barter. Yeah, no barter. When it comes to Islam, when it comes to the deen. So you can, for example, we can celebrate your Eid, Bil Adha, your Eid Fitr, but you have to join us during the Christmas. No, lakum dinukum waliyadin. Yeah. So this is very important. Sometimes people might be in life, in our country sometimes, the criminal come to doctor. We said, just rights, the cause of death is nature. And give it this huge money. If the doctor didn't have principle, he would wrote it. Okay. Because they want to save. Sometimes we, in our country, in the court, people can just bribe. Right? So that's the response of Bilqis. Now, how will be the response of Sulaiman alayhi salam? Right? So don't go away. We'll talk next week, inshallah. But now I would like to share with you, because the war became ignited in between Israel and Iran, no America involved. And sometimes Muslims confuse, what is our position with Iran, with Israel, neutral, right? So I'd like to share the video by Sheikh Yasir Qadi. So inshallah I can answer this question and send a message, inshallah.
In an area that is not his speciality, will say some bizarre and strange things. I'm a firm advocate of people remaining in their areas of expertise and of not speaking outside of the fields they have specialized in. Can you imagine if lay people began to be the references for medicine? So when we speak about the current affairs, when we speak about geopolitical realities, when we speak about complex problems taking place in the world, I am extremely cognizant of my own limitations. I have not trained in the science of geopolitics. My area of expertise is the classical study of Islam. And therefore, in this khutbah, when I try to comment about these realities, I will try my best to remain within my lane and to speak about that which, inshallah ta'ala, I have some right to speak about, which is the classical understanding of Islam and its relevance in the modern world. Because I am a firm believer that no matter what happens to us in our daily lives, we can return to the Quran and Sunnah, we can return to the Quran and the Seerah and extrapolate from it lessons and wisdoms and morals. What makes us people of faith is that our faith shapes us during every time, every crisis, every emotional reality. We turn to our Iman, to our religion, to our Lord, and we extrapolate wisdoms and points of benefit. So even as I speak about the current affairs today, I will try my best to not venture into areas that I do not have the right to venture into. With that being said, and without intending to be alarmist, there is no escaping the reality that we are currently closer to a potential World War III than we have ever been in the last 60 years. And if, God forbid, such an occurrence were to happen, it would affect every single one of us. In fact, all of humanity, in all likelihood, a world post-World War III would be unrecognizable to a world pre-World War III. So we turn to Allah seeking refuge from ever having to see such a reality. Conflicts are happening all over the world. It's not just Ukraine and Russia. It is across the globe as we speak. The disruption of global political norms, the rise of disinformation, the fomenting of conflict online. So much is happening. And now we have the ongoing war between the two countries of Israel and Iran. And I apologize about the bluntness and the fact that I will be so frank here, but the situation calls. Typically, I don't speak in such specifics, but the situation calls for us to be a little bit more specific. The first point that I would like to make is that we as Sunni Muslims,
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم: من بنى لله مسجدا بنى الله له بيتا في الجنة. هذا الحديث يسري على من يبني بيتا لله في السعودية وفي مصر وفي المغرب، فما بالكم بمن بنى لله بيتا في بلد ليست من بلاد المسلمين وفي بلدة لا يوجد فيها أي مسجد على الإطلاق. أنا أكلمكم الآن لأن أمامنا فرصة ذهبية، كنيسة تباع ويتم تحويلها إلى مسجد.
والحمد لله عز وجل تم تجميع مبلغ تقريبا نصف المبلغ لهذا المسجد، والحمد لله هذا ما تم بفضل الله عز وجل. ما ترونه هو نعمة من الله سبحانه وتعالى أن يبارك في هذه المدينة ويكون فيها مسجد لأول مرة، أول مسجد في تاريخ هذه المدينة.
ففيها فرصة كبيرة جدا، ما بالكم بمن بنى لله مسجدا في أورورا أونتاريو كندا. لا تضيع هذه الفرصة.
Sorry.
When your kid is hurting and there's nothing you can do about it.
there's a lot of online discussion going on. What should our stance be in the current conflict? On the one hand, you have Israel, and on the other, you have Iran. And without a doubt, theologically and politically, we Sunni Muslims do have disagreements with Iran. And some of these disagreements are quite severe. Because of this, there are people online and even in the public media that are saying that Iran and Israel are equally evil. Iran and Israel, according to them, are both empires of evil. And so they are saying it is our Islamic duty to remain neutral. And when they bring in Islam, I too must bring in Islam and weigh my opinion here. Others have even gone beyond this, and I've heard this with my own 2 ears from online interviews by famous clerics here in this part of the world and around the world, who are, unbelievably in my opinion, actually cheering on Israel against Iran because of the hatred and the anger that they have to Iran. So what then should our stance be? As usual, much can be said and time is limited. But let me share with you my remarks and my interpretation, and it is up to you to take it or to leave it. And this is my forte in area, Islamic theology, Islamic sectarianism. From a purely theological standpoint, from a purely aqidah standpoint, there is no question that Sunnism and Twelver, Ithna Ashari, Ja'fari, Shi'ism has a lot of disagreement. And I have spoken about these disagreements and given entire lectures, and you can listen to this online. I have an entire hour-long lecture I gave over here about the differences between Sunnism and Shi'ism. And I say unequivocally and for the record that I am a mainstream Sunni, that I do not agree with Twelver, Ithna Ashari theology. I strongly believe they are mistaken about core fundamentals of what it means to believe in Allah and His Messenger. I have said this and I continue to say it even now. However, the scholarly consensus from 1,200 years ago up until our times, our ulama, our trained theologians, and I am one of them inshallah ta'ala, have unanimously agreed amongst themselves that the mistakes of Twelver Shi'ism do not expel them from the fold of Islam as a default. Their errors, and there are errors, their deviations, and there are deviations, are still within the fold of Islam. And they are considered to be Muslims as a default. Yes, if you find an individual who that individual has very obscure, very erratic beliefs, yes, you may say that individual belief. But as a default, a person who comes to you and says he belongs to that firqa, that strand, as the asl, the default, they are your fellow Muslims. They believe in Allah. They believe in the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam. They believe in the Day of Judgment. They pray to Allah. They do wudu. They fast Ramadan. They lower their heads in the direction of the Qibla. They are outwardly and inwardly Muslim as a default. And this is by the unanimous consensus of our own scholarly tradition as well. So yes, they have mistakes, but those mistakes do not expel them from the reality of our ummah. And I have said this even before the current conflict. When there was nothing going on, I have given my lectures here, and I have said our disagreements should not result in increasing sectarianism. Let us agree to disagree. Let us agree to disagree in a civil manner. What is the benefit of me preaching hatred to my masjid and they preaching hatred to their masjid? We have two different interpretations. Let Allah be the judge in the hereafter. And in this world, let us get along for a better society. Let us come together to build better schools for our children. Let us not hate and fight one another, even as we agree to disagree. This had been my stance before the conflict began. Now, the problem comes, the issue becomes more complicated when it's not just theology anymore. What I have just said, frankly, every mainstream theologian, and allow me to be blunt here, from the Salafis to the Ash'aris to the Sufis to the Deobandis to the Jamaat Islamis to the Barelvis, the mainstream Sunni consensus is that Ithna Ashari, Ja'fari, Twelver Shi'as are Muslim, but they have mistaken beliefs. You can quote this, there's not much disagreements here. But the problem comes, it's not theology. The critics come and they say, oh, we are not just disagreeing about issues of Iman. Have you forgotten what they've done in the last decade? And they will bring in the difficult wars and situations that took place. And these are legitimate criticisms that they bring. How the specific elements of the Iranian regime, Khamenei himself, the Iranian Revolutionary Guard, multiple groups amongst the Iranian elite, blatantly supported Bashar al-Assad in the brutality of what took place in Syria, in the massacre of his own people, what's happening in Yemen, what's happening in other places as well. There is simply no defense of the political support that was given by the current regime to the tyrannical, despotic regimes that were massacring their own people. And there is no question that anybody who aided and abetted the tortures, the rapes, the massacres that took place in Syria will face divine justice on Yawm al-Qiyamah. And if somebody personally feels a level of anger, maybe their own family, their kith and kin have been hurt in this, that they cannot come out in support of this regime, it is understandable. Yet, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us, وَلَا يَجْرِمَنَّكُمْ شَنَآنُ قَوْمٍ عَلَىٰ أَلَّا تَعْدِلُوا.
Discover Luca Faloni's denim shirt. Crafted in Italy from luxurious denim, for a robust yet soft handle.
Unleashed a cruelty so depraved that it blatantly justifies the starvation of tens of thousands of children. It has destroyed every single hospital. It has destroyed every single school, every single masjid in Gaza, while their peoples are cheering them on. The average Israeli poll after poll shows is in support of Netanyahu. The average Israeli is reveling and mocking as our brothers and sisters are massacred in Gaza. Have you not seen the TikTok videos? Have you not seen the memes of them eating luscious food as they transpose it with people starving in Gaza? This is Israel. That is the reality. Contrast this with the other side, Iran right now. The average person in that country has nothing to do with the foreign policy. In that land, the adhan is being called. In that land, the masajid are being filled. In that land, sajda is done. In that land, the Quran is recited. In that land, as this battle is going on, they are invoking Allah for help. How can you compare this with that? Wallahi, this is the height of injustice. No matter how angry you are, and yes, wallahi, some of that anger is legitimate. Some of that anger against politicians of that country of Iran is legitimate. No matter how angry you are, the two are not and cannot be the same. And also, by the way, do you really think, oh, innocent person who thinks these two are equal, do you really think that Israel only wants to destroy Iran and that is it? Have you lost all sense and sensibility? Do you not understand that after Iran, it is every single Muslim superpower in the region? Do you really think that it is just one land? You cheering them on against Iran is you cheering them on against yourself when your own turn comes. They have publicly and blatantly said they want a greater Israel project. They want to gobble up every single Muslim land and region. Some of their maps that they say greater Israel includes Mecca and Medina. And here you are, oh naive, foolish person, blinded in your hatred, angry in your sectarianism, believing the two are the same. No, wallahi, they are not the same. And I say this as somebody who strongly disagrees theologically and politically with the country of Iran. But still, on the one hand, you have Iman, even if it has mistakes. On the other, you have not just kufr, but blatant kufr. Not just average kufr, but the most deviant, arrogant type of kufr that we have not seen for many millennia. This is chronic kufr on the one side. No matter whatever mistakes the other side is making, you cannot equate the two. And so, in this current conflict going on, I state unequivocally that yes, while I do not support Iran unconditionally in this conflict. Without a doubt, the aggressor is Israel. Without a doubt, the dhulm that is happening from and because of Israel. And I will criticize Israel a million times before I criticize the other side for having done what exactly in the current conflict. Whatever grievances we have, and we have grievances, let us agree to pause them for the time being. I'm not saying ignore. Once things settle down, once things are calm, once we have both eliminated the common enemy, then let us sit down and dialogue heart to heart. Let us see what can be done. Let us see if we can solve our internal differences. But let us not forget, right now there is a common enemy. That common enemy doesn't care the label you put on yourself is Sufi, Salafi, Deobandi, Shi'i. No, they only care that label is Muslim. That's what they care about. If that label is Muslim, they don't want to see that label. They do not want to see any Islamic empire, any Islamic land flourish. So, for the love of God, and then for the love of your ummah, set aside your petty sectarianism. I say at least for the time being. I'm not saying ignore forever. For the time being, understand this is not a conflict between two equally evil empires. This is a conflict. On the one side, you have flawed Muslims. Yes, but there are Muslims nonetheless. And on the other side, you have blatant followers of Fir'aun. You have the worst of the worst, and the two shall never be equal. So, brothers and sisters, this is my first point in this regard. The second...
So, inshallah, you can watch that video as you see the title. Yeah. It's very clear, you know, in Rasulullah said that when the oppressor, you cannot side with the oppressor. Because in here, of course, the oppressor is Israel, the oppressed is the Iran. So we have to, because in the hadith said, you know, we have to always support the oppressed. Okay. So inshallah, we will continue next week the tafsir, and we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you know, to support, to protect our brothers and sisters in Iran, inshallah. Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah, Rabbana laka alhamdu kama yanbaghi jalla wajhika wa atihi sultani. Allahumma salli wa sallim ala sayyidina wa ala sahbihi ajma'in. Allahumma anfa'na bima 'allamtana wa qina adhaban nar. Allah ja'al al-Qur'ana rabi'a qulubina wa nura basarina wa jal husna wa kashfa hamina. Rabbana atina fid dunya hasanah wa fil akhirati hasanatan wa qina adhaban nar. ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم وتب علينا إنك التواب الرحيم صلى الله عليه وسلم الحمد لله رب العالمين آمين.